EP41 opening script. Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Beauty Spy War. The 123-episode epic spy thriller. Adapted from the award finalist screenplay, Scorpio. Episode 41. The Assassin and Eun-ah's Astonishing Improvisation. Episode 40 recap. Juntae and Daebom excavate the Devoke at the Gangwa hideout. $30,000 United States dollars, poison needles, pistol, cipher documents discovered. Team leader Juntae snaps, "I'll kill him myself." British MI6 emergency charter flight Salisbury Protocol Kit arrives. Antidote administered. Sang-wook's fingers tremble, ever so slightly. Agent Eun-ah assigned to guard the hospital room. A black shadow scales the hospital exterior wall under cover of darkness. Syringe aimed at the IV line. Footsteps outside. Assassin retreats into the bathroom. Today's episode 41. The assassin waits in the bathroom, blade drawn. Agent Eun-ah's astonishing improvisation. A NIS operative meets a tragic end. The brilliant staging of a fabricated crime scene. What is the femme fatale Eun-ah's true allegiance? And Daebom's eyes for just a moment waver. Show no mercy. Episode 41 begins now. Episode 41. The Assassin and Eun-ah's Astonishing Improvisation. The operative stepped into the hospital room, still on his phone, and swept a quick glance around. Who was it? Who called the security desk? A patient's family member out for a late-night walk. Someone on a late-night walk saw a person rappelling down the outside wall in the dark? Either way, it's near the private ward, so I'm calling you. Take a look. It's a private ward. Who's going to just waltz in? I'll check it out to be safe. The family member says they saw someone enter through the window of the private ward. Good grief. I've been standing right outside that door the whole time. Relax. Security also picked up a motion sensor alert. We need you to verify. Could be an intruder. Or maybe the patient came out of his coma and moved. God, I hope it's the patient. Anyway, thanks for the heads up. It's not time for the doctor's rounds. And it's not time for the nurses to check in either. That's why the motion alert is a concern. Just take a look around. Got it. I'll check. The operative looked under the bed. Checked the wardrobe. He pulled back the window curtain. The window was open a crack. There's automatic ventilation, but the window's open a bit. Probably left it cracked for air during cleaning and forgot to close it. He moved toward the bathroom to check inside. Behind the shower curtain in the bathroom, a dark figure crouched in silence, holding its breath. A razor-sharp blade, already drawn, waiting for the operative to come closer. every muscle coiled ready to cut off his breathing at a moment's notice. Murderous intent radiating from every pore. Just as the operative reached for the curtain, a sound. Someone entering the hospital room. "Excuse me, where did the staff member go?" A woman's voice, looking for someone. The room door had clearly been closed on entry. And Sang-wook was in a coma. There was no chance he had woken. The dark figure stepped back from the curtain to check the sound. Agent Eun-ah had walked in. A sandwich in her hand. "Oh, senior agent. What brings you here?" The operative couldn't hide his flustered expression. "What were you doing that you didn't even hear me come in?" I called out several times. My apologies. I'd just stepped in myself to check the room." "Why? Something happen?" Security called, said some kind of sensor had been triggered. "Me too." Security flagged an anomaly and I came in early. I checked around, doesn't look like anything's wrong. This is a critical patient in an isolated room. Stay sharp. Keep your ears open in case he wakes. Senior agent, I swear I wasn't slacking off. I know. I brought a sandwich, eat outside. Oh, thank you so much. I was getting hungry. The operative smiled at Eun-ah as he headed out. She was, after all, the best shot among all the female NIS operatives. And a striking one at that. Having a senior female agent who turned heads personally. Bring him a late-night snack? That was an honor. Don't mention it. No unusual developments so far, right? None. No sign of him waking at all. He needs to pull through. Otherwise our investigation hits a wall. We're waiting. With that poison compound, a quick recovery isn't likely. Right. The director sent me to check on the patient in the private ward. Understood. Everything's under control here, not to worry. You're armed, yes? Given the assassination risk? Of course. Right here. The operative patted the holstered pistol at his hip. Assassination can come in any form, any method. Don't drop your guard. Goes without saying. At that exact moment, the dark figure slipped out of the bathroom. Dressed in a white medical gown and moved toward Sang-wook. It pulled out a syringe and opened a case. Preparing to insert it into the IV line hanging overhead. Sang-wook's face was utterly peaceful. Oblivious to the mortal danger closing in around him. His frail breath kept the thread of his life from snapping barely, stubbornly. The angel of death was opening its jaws to swallow him whole. And he had no idea. Just as the syringe approached the IV line. Outside, the operative was biting into his sandwich when something felt off. He peered through the small window on the hospital room door. He spat out what was in his mouth and shoved the door open. Spit, spit, hey. Hey, who are you? What are you doing in there? Who are you? Are you a doctor? I've never seen you before. I'm a doctor. Isn't it obvious? Something wrong with that? You're a doctor here? I was outside, eating for 2 minutes and someone just walks right in. I check on patients at this hour. It's routine. Then when did you get in? I didn't see you. You two were busy talking. Probably missed me. What are you on about? Hold it right there, I'm calling the nurses' station. The operative moved toward the night call button on the wall panel. In an instant, the dark figure struck a rapid, relentless series of blows. The operative crashed to the floor, the impact reverberating through him. He hauled himself back up and swung back. Fierce, violent hand-to-hand combat erupted inside the private ward. The operative dodged and countered the dark figures. Razor-sharp attacks blow for blow. And yet after several exchanges, it was the dark figure that was losing ground. Sensing the shift, the figure spun and wrenched the window open, trying to bolt. Gripping the window frame, it pivoted, but the operative grabbed it by the collar and locked both hands around its throat. The dark figure was bent backward, half hanging out of the window frame. The operative tightened his grip and squeezed harder. You're from the Reconnaissance General Bureau, aren't you? Haha, the hell are you saying? You're part of the assassination unit. What are you? You son of a bitch. I'll kill you. The dark figure's face flushed red as it gasped for air. It reached out, scratched at the operative's face, jabbed fingers at his eyes. Ah hey. You little, ha, I've got you now. Let go of me. You think I'd let go? You son of a bitch. The sudden attack on his eyes blurred the operative's vision. He fumbled at his hip, groping for his pistol. That was when Eun-ah snatched it from him. She grabbed a sheet from the bed, wrapped it around her hand, and fired straight into the operative's right thigh. Not from the front. From behind at a precise oblique angle. The exact angle that would make it look like the operative himself had accidentally shot his own leg while drawing his weapon, even if investigators reconstructed the scene later. The trajectory of the bullet would point to a self-inflicted accident. She had calculated it down to the degree. There was historical precedent. Moon Se-guang, the man who had attempted to assassinate President Park Chung-hee's wife, had accidentally discharged his own pistol into his thigh, while leaping from the audience seats toward the stage. In high-tension situations, even trained operatives made mistakes like that. The silencer made sure it was quiet. Then, from behind, Eun-ah wrapped her arm around the operative's neck and snapped it completely. No scream. Not even a proper gasp. The operative was dead. She moved calmly and methodically to clean the scene. She retrieved the section of the bedsheet she had used to grip the pistol. She took the operative's right hand, lightly rubbed the back of it, wiped the palm. Then the left hand tapped both sides with the sheet. She was deliberately leaving gunpowder residue precisely where it needed to be. Everything calculated, as only someone who truly knew firearms could calculate. Eun-ah looked at the dark figure with a flicker of contempt. "You useless comrade. If it weren't for me, you'd already be dead. Now go get out of here." "Yes. I'm so sorry. Take the same route back, and stay completely out of sight for a while." "Understood?" "Yes. I'll remember that." The dark figure snapped to attention with a sharp salute. Then it moved to the window and reached for the rope it had used to rappel down. Eun-ah had already made her next calculation. Her own body needed to show signs of a struggle. "Wait, comrade. One more thing." The dark figure turned, a puzzled look in its eyes. "I need your help. Help me make this look convincing. No holding back." Eun-ah pointed to her own face, closed her eyes, clenched her jaw. A signal hit the eye socket. Hard. Then she tapped the side of her thigh. A signal boot kick. "Leave a bruise." Then she gestured to her own neck. A signal strangle her. "Leave marks. I'm sorry in advance. Give it everything you've got." The dark figure turned back and drove a fist straight into the eye socket of the femme fatale, Eun-ah. Then it swung a booted kick into her thigh with full force. Enough to buckle her knees. Then it closed both hands around the soft, delicate skin of her throat, just below the jawline, and squeezed until bruises formed. Eun-ah felt the air slam out of her lungs. She was on the edge of blacking out. She had made herself an accomplice in an act of breathtaking evidence fabrication. The recreation of the fight was executed with meticulous, cold-blooded precision. The broad picture she was painting Agent Eun-ah had fought the dark figure hand to hand. The male operative, panicking and fumbling for his weapon, had accidentally shot himself in the thigh, and ultimately, the dark figure had snapped his neck, killing him. That was the story. That was the scene. The dark figure grabbed the rope outside the window and vanished silently into the night. Eun-ah looked at herself in the mirror and took stock of the damage. Then she brought her own fist up and split her pretty lower lip open too. She studied the bruised neck, the bruised thigh, the bleeding lip, and smiled. A composed, elegant smile. She looked exactly like someone who had taken a severe beating in a violent struggle some time past. Medical staff came in for a blood pressure and pupil check and froze. They rushed to Eun-ah, who had collapsed against the wall, barely moving. "Are you all right?" Eun-ah gave a faint, weak nod. The nurse checked the NIS operative. Gunshot wound to the thigh, bleeding, unmoving. She pressed 2 fingers to his neck. "No pulse. Call the emergency physician, get the night duty doctor on the line." "Yes." The nurse pressed the emergency call button on Sang-wook's bed panel. Eun-ah lifted her phone and dialed the investigation bureau. "I'm sorry. I failed to protect him." "What are you talking about? Failed to protect who? I'm truly sorry. I told you keep Sang-wook safe at all costs." "Sang-wook is safe. But what? What happened?" "The operative guarding the room. He's dead." "How bad are we talking?" "Someone's dead. The operative on the scene and I fought the would-be assassin. We kept Sang-wook safe, but I'm sorry. I'm sending the response team. Hold tight." The operative, a gunshot wound through the thigh, neck snapped, lay dead. Moments later, NFS personnel filed in alongside the response team. "Don't touch anything. Leave the scene exactly as it is." The NFS team worked quickly, collecting the pistol, shell casings, blood traces, fragments. The NIS response team arrived shortly after. The NFS continued scanning the scene. Pistol, casings, blood, everything was being catalogued. When Daebom arrived with his investigators, "Hey, they got him. What the hell happened here?" "Senior Kong, that's Yongho. Remember him? The one who threw Park Tae-sik in a single move. When we arrested him. Something about this doesn't sit right with me. 2 operatives in the room and it still ends like this? I can't even find the words." Then Daebom's eyes landed on Eun-ah. The red, bruised skin around her throat. The eye socket slightly blue, swollen. The split lip from what must have been a fist. Her clothes rumpled and twisted, as if she'd been dragged through a fight. Eun-ah's eyes were red at the corners. Just barely wet. A slight stuffiness in her voice, like she'd been crying. It looked like tears could spill down her face at any moment. Then she heard it, Daebom's voice, low with concern. Right beside her. He was the first senior agent who had ever made her heart move. From the very first day she joined the NIS. "Team leader. I'm truly sorry. But I kept Sang-wook safe." At those words, something shifted in Daebom's eyes. Just for a moment. Eun-ah's battered face was saying more than any words could. "Eun-ah, what happened? Are you badly hurt?" EP41 ending script English Episode 41 highlights. Assassin in the bathroom. Blade drawn behind the shower curtain. The operative closes in 1 step away. Agent Eun-ah's perfectly timed entrance averts disaster. I wasn't slacking off, senior agent, I swear. One sandwich unknowingly saves the assassin's cover. Fierce close quarters combat. The Black Shadow in a white medical gown. Syringe poised over the IV line. The operative peers through the small door window. Spit, hey. Who are you? A life or death struggle erupts inside the private ward. Eun-ah's astonishing improvisation. Snatches the pistol, fires at a precise oblique angle. The exact angle that reads as an accidental self-inflicted wound. Snaps the operative's neck from behind. Even accounts for gunpowder residue, a flawlessly staged scene. You useless comrade. I just saved your life. The perfect crime scene. Make it convincing, show no mercy. Eye socket, thigh, throat. Eun-ah carves the evidence of battle onto her own body. Bloodied lip, bruised neck and a composed, elegant smile. The Femme Fatale's cold, ruthless professionalism. Daebom and Eun-ah, how did this happen to our man? Disheveled clothes, swollen eye, voice thick with tears. The first time since joining the NIS, Eun-ah's heart truly shakes. But I kept Sang-wook safe. Daebom's eyes just for a moment waver. Episode 42 Preview. Assassin Hunt Resumes. Will Eun-ah's fabrication be discovered? The shifting emotional current between Daebom and Eun-ah. Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Beauty Spy War. 123 episode epic spy thriller. Adapted from the award finalist screenplay, Scorpio. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you for watching. EP42 opening script. Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Original screenplay, Scorpio, adapted into the 123 episode. Epic spy thriller, Beauty Spy War. Episode 42, Find the Gunpowder Residue. Episode 41 recap. Assassin hiding in the bathroom, blade drawn, waiting. Agent Eun-ah arrives with a sandwich crisis narrowly averted. Black Shadow in white medical gown aims syringe at IV line. Fierce hand-to-hand combat erupts in the private ward. Eun-ah snatches the pistol, fires at a precise oblique angle. Show no mercy. Carves evidence of battle onto her own body. The Femme Fatale's perfect crime scene fabrication. But I kept Sang-wook safe. Daebom's eyes just for a moment waver. Today's episode 42. Daebom tenderly wipes Eun-ah's split lip with gauze. My heart aches for you. NFS Ballistics expert Dr. Ju Yong-chul takes the floor. Scorched halo, soot halo, comparison microscope, rifling marks. The bullet that killed the operative fired from his own pistol. But wait, no primer residue on his hands? It's like finishing in the bathroom without wiping. Eun-ah's perfect cover-up. The first crack appears. Go through it all again top to bottom. Episode 42 begins now. Episode 42. Find the gunpowder residue. She had sworn to herself that aside from her father, she would never give her heart to any man, not for as long as she lived. And yet, without warning, this man had stirred something deep inside Eun-ah. A quiet seismic shift, gentle but impossible to ignore. She had kept that vague, fluttering feeling buried in silence. And now, here was Senior Agent Daebom, always so indifferent, speaking words of concern for her. She didn't know what to do with herself. His eyes filled with genuine worry as Daebom reached out his hand. Team leader Kang Daebom, gently touching Eun-ah's bruised eye socket. Hey, you really got hurt badly, didn't you? That must hurt. For someone to do this to you, whoever it was, must be incredibly strong. Senior Agent, at least I kept Sang-wook safe. Good work. But what kind of bastard does this to someone's face, huh? I'm sorry. My combat training was clearly far too lacking. I'm sorry. What are you apologizing for? Did you commit a crime? You're lucky it wasn't worse. Daebom felt a pang of sympathy for Eun-ah. She had always looked at him with such reverent eyes. Your lip is split too? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself as an NIS operative. I should have caught him. Hold on, stay still. Your face is a mess. Daebom reached into a medical cart, took out a gauze pad, and pressed it gently against Eun-ah's split lip, carefully dabbing away the blood himself. Oh, don't be dramatic. Though I suppose it does hurt a bit. Gently, please. The affection that poured out of him was completely natural. The way a senior officer might tend to a junior who had survived the battlefield. They were intelligence operatives, staking their lives in a war without gunfire. What must that inner tension have been like? How many days had that ironclad heart been clenched tight? 1 day, 2 days, and counting? What weight and burden must she have carried? The sheer endurance required of a woman in this field? The crushing, nameless pressure that never let up. The agonizing days of silence, when results refused to come. Every time Senior Agent Daebom's hand made contact, something like a faint breath of spring seemed to settle softly into Eun-ah's chest, a quiet, fragrant warmth spreading through her. It felt like the warm breath of spring's herald, quietly coaxing flowers to bloom in the frozen heart of winter. Promising the world that joy would come again. Thank you, Senior Agent. Don't mention it. My heart aches. Team leader Juntae, standing behind them, watched with the same heavy feeling. Eun-ah, Senior Agent Kong seems really torn up seeing you like this. I've never seen you look this vulnerable before. The moment Juntae said it, Daebom visibly startled and stepped back from Eun-ah. Today is a truly sad day. Another junior operative has left this world. Before getting the chance to truly bloom. Let's catch this bastard and give our colleague the justice he deserves. Yes, sir. Get down to the hospital. CCTV and surrounding cameras and go through everything. Move fast. Check the nearby public parking lots and alleyways. To any lead, anything at all. Yes, sir. The operatives moved quickly down the corridor. I'm so sorry. I'm endlessly ashamed. I want to disappear. Focus on recovering and getting treatment. And cooperate fully with the investigation into today's incident. At the words cooperate with the investigation, Eun-ah felt a wave of tension wash through her. National Forensic Service. Knock knock. Daebom knocked on the laboratory door of Dr. Eun-ah, his partner, whom he barely got to see these days. Come in. He turned the handle. Daebom pushed open the lab door and stepped inside. Oh my Daebom. What brings you here? Work. Official visit. Dr. Eun-ah, who had been seated at her desk, leapt to her feet. She threw her arms around Daebom. The two of them exchanged a quick, warm kiss. Dr. Go ran her hands over Daebom's chiseled, handsome face. She swept the hair back from his forehead. Daebom's eyes softened at the warmth of her touch. A warmth he hadn't felt in far too long. Eun-ah, our people are waiting in the conference room. Let's save this for later, someone might see. So what? Why are you always so cautious? You're my love. What if someone figures it out? We agreed to keep this between us. Let them figure it out. All right. Doctor. Go, it's time to head straight to the conference room. I just want to stay like this. Fine. Conference room it is. Eun-ah, did anything come up? Dr. Ju Yong-chul from Ballistics was at it all day yesterday. We've been putting your team through a lot, haven't we? Must have been hectic. It has. And since you're so buried in the investigation, phone calls are all we ever manage. We do video calls every now and then. I have to come all the way to the NFS just to see my boyfriend's face. And even then it's all sideways glances. Are we actually a couple? We are. We definitely are. They made their way down the corridor, glancing around. Fortunately, no one was in sight. Dr. Eun-ah gave Daebom's firm backside a playful pat. Not to be outdone, Daebom gave her a quiet, discreet pat in return. Team leader Juntae and several investigators were already assembled. In the small conference room, Dr. Eun-ah entered and greeted everyone warmly. They glanced at the clock, waiting for someone. Running a little late. Ah, there he is. Doctor. Go, sorry I'm a bit late. Not at all. Just a tiny bit. Shall we begin? Dr. Ju Yong-chul, the NFS ballistics expert with a well-kept mustache, gave a small nod. Dr. Eun-ah took the microphone as the slide appeared on the screen. This is Dr. Ju Yong-chul, ballistics specialist at the National Forensic Service. Yes, I'm Dr. Ju Yong-chul. Pleased to meet you all. Likewise. The terminology can be difficult and hard to follow, so I'll explain slowly. When the white sheet was pulled back on screen, the body of the NIS operative was revealed. The high-definition image showed the corpse in sharp, unsparing clarity. Based on our analysis, the bullet entered here and exited on this side. The entry wound doesn't look that large? That's because there's a difference between a contact shot and a near shot. This isn't a contact shot, is it? Correct. A contact shot is fired with the muzzle pressed directly against the skin. This is a near shot. And what are these? Here you can see the scorched halo, and here this is the soot halo. What is a scorched halo? The scorched halo refers to the burned pattern that forms around the entry wound, caused by the muzzle blast, and the combustion gases released from the barrel. The terminology is quite difficult. The character for halo in the original term means ring or halo. Like the ring around the sun or moon. A ring? Think of it this way: the skin around the wound gets burned, correct? Yes. That burn forms a reddened ring or blister pattern, like the halo around the sun or moon. That's where the name comes from. Now, Dr. The bullet recovered from the scene. Was it fired from our operative's own pistol? Yes, it was. So it didn't come from the intruder's weapon? That's correct. Were all shell casings and bullets recovered from the hospital room? Yes, of course. How do you determine which gun a bullet came from? We took the bullet that passed through the operative's thigh and compared it against a test bullet fired experimentally from the operative's own pistol. And the result? When we compared the two bullets, they matched, both fired from the same pistol. Is it possible to compare two bullets simultaneously? Yes, using a comparison microscope. It allows two microscopes to be viewed through a single eyepiece. Take a look at the left and right sides of the enlarged image on screen. Remarkable, it's like having two microscopes fused into one. Exactly. That's a perfectly good way to think of it. Even with multiple bullets, can you identify which gun fired which one just from the scratch marks? You can. The rifling inside the barrel leaves distinct marks on the bullet's surface. So the weapon that killed our operative. It was the very pistol he was carrying? Yes. His own pistol. The bullet that struck the operative's thigh was fired from his own weapon. I see. I had assumed it came from the intruder's gun. Most people would assume that. So did the intruder snatch the operative's gun and fire it? Whether the gun was taken and fired by the intruder, or whether the operative accidentally discharged it himself. While drawing that still requires further investigation. Did you also examine the rifling of the barrel? Of course. There's dedicated equipment for examining the bore. What type of pistol is this? It's a pistol with 6 right-hand twist rifling grooves. Newly issued to NIS operatives. That would be the new model, yes. Correct. Through bore examination, we also confirmed the presence of gunpowder residue inside the barrel. That tells us a live round was definitively fired. Yes. But there is one thing that strikes me as strange. Strange? What do you mean? Does it actually happen? Someone accidentally shooting themselves in the thigh with their own pistol? Absurd as it sounds, yes. Right. Taking a ballistics approach, I ran this simulation. Dr. Ju Yong-chul advanced the screen, walking through the simulation step by step. This particular firing angle, it simply doesn't occur under normal circumstances. It doesn't occur under normal circumstances? Correct. If you're standing still and fire your own weapon, you won't make this kind of absurd mistake. Then when would it happen? This angle is consistent with someone lunging forward toward a target, and firing incorrectly in the process. What's your reasoning for that conclusion? When firing from a standing position, both hands on the grip, weapon raised above or below the waist. There's no reason for the bullet to strike your own thigh. Are there truly no documented cases of someone shooting their own leg like that? There have been. Foreign cases? Not foreign, a domestic case. Something that happened in Korea a long time ago. In Korea, someone drew their weapon hastily and accidentally discharged it into their own thigh. So why would someone be that careless shooting themselves in their own leg? Think about it. In the middle of a struggle, choking, shoving, grappling, would the gun come out of the holster easily? No, that would be very difficult. In that desperate chaos, trying to draw with one hand instead of two, the finger naturally catches on the trigger mid-motion and the gun fires. Either way, an utterly senseless situation. Moon Se-guang, the man who attempted to assassinate the president's wife, did exactly the same thing. With the hammer cocked, he pulled the gun from his waistband and shot himself in the thigh. So that case was the same. That makes it a little easier to understand. But, is there something else? There's no primer residue on the operative's hands. Doctor, what could account for the absence of primer residue? There's a standard protocol for collecting primer residue. What protocol? Before collection, nothing at the scene of a firearms incident must be touched. Under any circumstances. Is that an absolute requirement? An absolute one. The collection kit is opened, and samples are taken from 4 locations. The back and palm of both the left and right hands. And the quantity recovered from the operative's hands was not within the normal range. The amount was so small that virtually absent would be the more accurate description. So you're saying there was almost no gunpowder residue? Yes. Almost none. Far less than you would normally expect? I followed standard procedure, opened the kit, collected samples exactly according to the Firearms Discharge Evidence Collection Guidelines. You do this regularly, there's no chance of procedural error? I do it as often as eating a meal. Post-collection forms completed. Sealed tightly. Everything by the book. And yet something feels wrong? As a professional, I cannot shake this uneasy feeling. Uneasy? It's like finishing in the bathroom without wiping. Something's just not right. Could there be any residue on the sleeve, perhaps? There are only trace amounts of gunpowder on the dead operative's hands. And none at all on the sleeves. Why would that be, Doctor? That's exactly what I'd like us to work through together. The operatives listened to the complex findings in silence, quietly processing everything when team leader Kang Daebom's voice cut through the room. Go through it all again top to bottom. Whatever could be a lead, find it. EP42 Ending Script. Episode 42 Highlights. Daebom and Eun-ah. Daebom gently touches Eun-ah's bruised eye socket. What kind of bastard does this to someone's face? Wipes her split lip with gauze his own hands. Don't mention it. My heart aches. Warm as a spring herald in the frozen midwinter. Every touch a quiet seismic shift in Eun-ah's heart. Juntae's one remark Daebom pulls away in surprise. Cooperate with the investigation. Tension washes through Eun-ah. Ballistics analysis meeting. NFS ballistics expert Dr. Ju Yong-chul. Scorched halo burn pattern from muzzle gas. Soot halo dark ring from gunpowder residue. 2 bullets compared simultaneously. Under comparison microscope. Rifling marks identify exactly which gun fired each bullet. Conclusion: the bullet that hit the operative's thigh came from his own pistol. The mystery of the firing angle. Standing in place, this mistake simply doesn't happen. Angle consistent with lunging forward at a target. Moon Se-guang case hammer cocked. Fired into own thigh while drawing. One-handed draw finger caught the trigger mid-motion. The first crack, no primer residue. There's no primer residue on the operative's hands. Collection kit standard protocol followed to the letter. Only trace amounts on the hands. Nothing at all on the sleeves. As a professional, I cannot shake this uneasy feeling. It's like finishing in the bathroom without wiping. Eun-ah's perfect fabrication. The first crack begins to show. Episode 43 preview. The truth behind missing primer residue. Will Eun-ah's fabrication be exposed? Daebom's investigation closes in. Finalist second Proud Korean Screenplay Competition. Original screenplay, Scorpio, adapted into the 123 episode. Epic spy thriller, Beauty Spy War. New episodes every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Thank you for watching.